Jim Conlan here from RCB Radio Sport Ireland. Gary, I suppose this week's game against West Brom, it seems pivotal in one sense, obviously. 5 points between both sides. West Brom have a game in hand. But if you're victorious at the weekend, that stretches that out to 8, really, and gives that bit of a gap, that bit of a buffer sort of between the two clubs.
Yeah, look, I think, you're aware of the positions in the league. I think for us, it's about concentrating on the game and not necessarily, the points gap, or is it more important for one team than the other? I think it's a game that West Brom are clearly wanting to win. They've done that at home an awful lot recently. They'll want to put pressure on teams like us in the top 6. And obviously, of course, we want to try and get a result in the game regardless. And I think that's the mentality, really. It's what do we need to do to get a result? It's going to be a big challenge. It's going to be a very, very tough away game. But we've been good away from home recently. I think we've won something like 4 out of the last 6. So, we're in confident mood. But we also know and respect how good a team West Brom are, and some of the excellent individuals they have.
Just on Ollie Burke there, obviously a prodigious talent in his younger days, was touted, win for an awful lot of money as well. Is he at a pivotal stage of his career now where he's just trying to find himself? I suppose 9 games, 1 goal this season. Should Ollie really be kicking on with the amount of talent that he has? Should he be in double figures? Should he really be a catalyst in the Millwall sort of team for you, given his talent, or is he just, at the moment, is he just really at the defining stage of his career in terms of making or breaking it?
I think that if you look at Burke, of course, with someone with those athletic qualities and someone with that talent, of course, everyone's going to expect that type of player to be playing in the Premier League. I think that's just the nature of it, but it's never that easy. It's never that simple, and everyone's different. And of course, like you said, he's come into our team, a very settled team, so it's been hard to break into the team from the start. I think both him and Duncan Watmore have found it really difficult to break into the team and stay in the team, just because of the nature of the results have been very, very good and the group's been pretty settled. So, but of course, what I would say is I'd expect Burke to have a big impact for us in the last 8 games, whether that's from the start, whether that's off the bench. And I think to a certain degree, the moves that he had so early in his career is always going to give those comparisons and going to put that extra pressure. But I think for me, it's just about him enjoying his football and impacting the game, like I said, whether that's in the first minute or the 60th minute, because he has the ability to go and do that.
And Gary, just on Millwall's recruitment and their business in the transfer market, we all give plaudits to Brighton and what they've done in picking up gems from different parts of the world. But the acquisition of Zian Fleming, I suppose he's probably been one of the best players in the Championship there. Got him from a lower team in the Dutch Eredivisie, 35 matches, 13 goals. I suppose to find a player like that out there for what was at the time little money for sort of Millwall to what he's probably valued now, I suppose it just goes to show you the scouting that's done by Millwall to find these sort of talents.
Yeah, I think that's important for any club, but more importantly for a club like ours, where we're always trying to maximise the budget and maximise the opportunities that we have. I think something we spoke about when we first came into the club is going away perhaps from a slightly traditional recruitment, and looking around Europe a little bit more for some of that value. And we felt like there was room in the squad for that type of thing. Obviously Alex Aldridge and his team worked very, very hard to try and give us those options. And I think that's really important for us. And then, of course, you've got to try and get those deals over the line. But I think it shows that gamble and how that gamble can pay off. And like you say, sometimes putting money into those types of players, then you find it actually got a player worth 3 or 4 times that value very quickly. So from a business perspective, also, it's not a bad model. So yeah, look, it's something we're working hard on. It's something we're trying to do better all the time. But it's something certainly Zian and the likes of Ogie, for different reasons, give us cause for optimism and that we're doing some things really well.
And finally, Gary, I just want to finish with an Irish sort of touch there. A youngster there, only 19, Ademo Imaki, I suppose, came there recently. to Millwall. In terms of Adamo, in terms of training, having around the ground, is he better off with you, sort of learning from the first team squad, learning about the championship? Is this good for his development, or would you have preferred maybe looking back in January to have got him out in loan time, got him more game time under his sort of belt? Or do you feel where he's at now with Chi that he can develop much, much faster rather than being out on loan lower down the leagues?
No, I think the initial plan for him was to come in and get settled. He only came in around December, but he only effectively signed in January. So I think it was more to get him in, get a feel for the tempo and intensity. He's got fellow Irish players in the likes of Danny McNamara who, he can learn from. He can learn what it's like at our club and some of the sort of nuances of that, and just have a period training. And then I think for us, I think he's shown how difficult that can be sometimes. He's picked up a few injuries just in terms of that step up in intensity. But he'll learn from that. And I think next season is a season where, we'll assess pre-season where we think he is. If we think he'd benefit from a loan out, then that's what we'll do. If we think he's close to the first team, then we'll keep him here. So yeah, I think it's an ongoing thing. I've been really pleased with him. He's a lovely kid. He's got great attributes, and he's got a great attitude. And I think he'd be a really, really good player.
Cheers, Gary. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.